Hey guys, what's going on? Paul here. Welcome back to another Cardano video. So, been a really good week for ADA, for Cardano overall once again. And in this one, we'll go through some of the latest updates from around the Cardano ecosystem. Some big news from different projects. Some projects releasing their mainnet dates, some highly anticipated ones. Others reaching testnet, some hitting mainnet this week. We'll go through all of that in this one. Tomorrow, then, I will do a follow-up video. I'm not sure whether to do it live or pre-recorded yet. I'll let you guys decide down below. Let me know live or pre-recorded. To look more at what's going on, we'll go through tap tools, look at the different projects, see which ones are having the biggest moves over the last week, some of the reasons behind it. If we do it live, I can do it interactive, take requests and questions, or if I do it pre-recorded, it'll probably be more straightforward and quicker. But let me know down below. If you're new, hit that subscribe button. Give the video a like, really does help and I do appreciate it. Let's jump into it. Okay, kicking it off very quickly with DeFi Llama, but this is something we'll dive deeper into that video tomorrow. So all-time highs for TVL over this week. I think we have a small pullback right now in terms of USD. That's based on the ADA price, but ADA price still looking very healthy compared to where we were a while back. Sometimes you will see this number, I think over 500 million. I've seen screenshots. And just for people who are interested in that, that's when you include staking up here. So this is projects, DeFi projects that allow staking on their platform. This doesn't include ADA staking. Generally, I look at it without staking because I'm looking at what is actually being used within DeFi and what's going on there. So the top projects haven't changed. Indigo over 100 million, MinSwap getting very close, Liquid up to nearly the 50 million mark. But again, they're the types of things we'll dive a bit deeper into tomorrow. And then tap tools, which again will be a big focus for tomorrow. We see the trending tokens for the last 24 hours. You have SNEC with some really big volumes once again. And actually, you can see SNEC has moved into number 2 here and taken a decent, putting a bit of space between it and World Mobile down in 3rd. And if we look at volume right now, SNEC is by far the highest volume being traded on Cardano. You also have Gens coming in at 2nd there, which is the Genius Yield token. Genius Yield launched on Mainnet this week, which we will talk about in a few minutes. Let's see what else we have. Then you have AGIX, LenFi, COPI. We have some COPI news here. Hunt, IAG, Optum. I think we have something to talk about there too. And tomorrow we'll dive a bit deeper into all of them projects too. Then on to the project updates, and we'll start out with AXO Trade. So this is a highly anticipated launch on Cardano. The testnet came out a few weeks ago and really did meet expectations. I wasn't sure if it would based on the hugely high milestones they were setting or targets that they were setting, but the testnet was really, really good. So they have now put out the date that the launch is going to happen on January 16th. And there is going to be a liquidity seed event. So this is similar to what we've seen with LBEs on other projects where during that, it's during a week, you can come in, you can put in, they said they're going to accept Cardano native assets as part of this. So you can put in your assets into it. At the end of the 7 days, they'll look at whatever assets have been put in. There's a certain amount of AXO tokens. I think it's not a huge amount of tokens being put in there. And that's what's going to decide the price of AXO that it's going to launch at. They then will be able to use the different tokens that were put in as part of the liquidity or the initial liquidity on the AXO Trade DEX when it does launch. So it's great to finally get to this point with AXO Trade, and maybe I'll do more of a deep dive into it and how the liquidity seed event is going to work if people are interested in that. So let me know below on that one, but I'll put the links to this down below, and there is a full article to take a look through on that as well. It talks all about the liquidity seed event, what it's going to be starting on January 9th at 12 p.m. There's going to be 275,000 AXO tokens will be unlocked from the treasury to put into this. I think some of that is going to be used for liquidity, but again, we'll dive a bit deeper into that maybe in a specific video for AXO Trade. Then moving on to another DEX, and that is Genius Yield. So I had Lars from Genius Yield on probably 5-6 weeks ago at this point to talk all about what Genius Yield were building and what it was going to be. They have now hit mainnet. Congratulations to the Genius Yield team. So this is another order book DEX. So what we're used to on Cardano is the likes of MinSwap and SundaeSwap, Wing Riders. where they are AMM dexes. Now, a lot of them have brought in order book options since they first launched, but they launched primarily as AMM dexes. With order book dexes, it's different. You don't have to provide liquidity. You just put in the assets you want. You set the buy prices. These are all done through limit orders. And if we take a quick look at it here, I would say so far it's fairly basic. It is a normal limit order or an order book dex. One of the big things they have going though is open source and their source, so their smart order routing, where anybody can create the bots, can just download the code and set up their own bot that will help be the matchmakers on the dex. So if you look here, you have your order book. So these are the sell orders, just like you're used to on your centralized exchanges. These are the prices that people are willing to sell. So this one here, someone's willing to sell 3,759 gens tokens for 1 ADA. And down here, these are the current buy prices. So this is what people are willing to buy at. Now, when you go through it, you will see that there isn't much liquidity on any other pairs. And even with the gens, it's a little bit light yet. Where the SORs come in then is when people are placing these orders, or even the market orders, then the bots are there to match the buys against the sells, and the bots are, whoever's running them gets to keep a small bit of the fees that are paid too. But when you go to do your trade, you will see everything is transparent and upfront. I know they have lots of other features planned, which Lars talked about when he was on. So it's going to be interesting to see how they get on for liquidity, how much liquidity they can attract in here. With AXO Trade coming fairly early in January with the full order book dex too, the competition is definitely starting to heat up there. So it's going to be interesting to see how they all compete and where the liquidity starts to flow into. Then we look at another dApp that is getting ready to launch on Cardano, and that is OptionFlow. So looking to bring, I was going to say new options for trading, but it's bringing options and perpetuals to the Cardano Mainnet. So they have announced that their mainnet launch date is December 20th. So next Wednesday, Friday, as I record this. So only a few days away. And if you're not familiar with options trading and perpetuals and how that all works, options, basically you can buy an option that gives you the option to either buy or sell an asset at a certain date in the future, and you pay a certain price at that. So you set the price that you will be allowed to either buy or sell them tokens in the future, and effectively you're gambling on the price either being higher or lower than that, and there will be people who are willing to accept that on the buy side or sell side. And it's probably something I'll definitely need to do a few videos on and a few examples on how it all works when it does go live. And I did see this one here earlier from the altcoin Oracle. So he's created a full article on it, talking, kind of breaking down what options are, perpetuals, how this is all going to work for OptionFlow, and does a full look at their tokenomics, market analysis, and I will leave a link to that one down below too. And just while we're talking about new protocols, new DeFi protocols launching on Cardano, Butane, which is a synthetics protocol that will be launching on Cardano fairly soon. I haven't seen a launch date for this just yet, but I think it is only a few weeks away, and we will see Butane going live. That's going to be interesting to see how that one plays, because if you remember, the #1 protocol on Cardano right now is Indigo, which is also a synthetics protocol. So definitely one to keep an eye on if you are getting more interested in the different types of DeFi plays that you can do and having a few more options out there. So the likes of OptionFlow and Butane is really going to give more opportunities for people who are looking to get deeper into the DeFi, I'd say the DeFi playground, and you can expect lots of tutorials here for them. Next, NEWM. So I had Ryan and a few others on a podcast earlier in the week. I had Pete from Blue Shift talking all about the new index that they are launching with NEWM are one of the projects. We also had Revuto, and then we had Paribus. So I had a member from each team talking all about what the individual projects were, why they're part of the index, and where they are in terms of their development and what's next. So if you're interested in any of them protocols, I will leave the link to that one down below. Project NEWM have said we're in our pre-launch era, so bringing royalties and music distribution on chain. So this is a closed mainnet launch of the NEWM studio, and it's officially live. I haven't got access to it yet. I will look into it and see when I'll be able to get access to bring you guys a sneak peek of what it looks like. They're really looking to do things different in the music industry, help artists get a lot more of the royalties that really they should be getting. So instead of the big companies taking the huge portion of the profits, then they want to spread it back to artists, and even people are able to invest in early artists. So if you believe in someone, you could actually be part of the funding for them initially, and you could earn royalties on some of their music over the lifetime of the artist and over the lifetime of the music. So we'll dive a bit deeper into that one another day. Then we'll take a look at the Cardano Foundation, because they had a few updates in the last few days. So a while back, the Cardano Foundation brought out their own block explorer. There was some mixed reaction on this, but the way that they're going at is when you're looking at external parties and bigger institutions, they want to look at something that's recognized, or even someone that's going to be running part of the infrastructure that's needed for them to maybe set up their own explorers or internal tools. So they put out the Cardano Explorer, and this is beta.explorer.cardano.org. So they put a few updates into it over the last few days, a few nice updates on the staking lifecycle. Also, metadata checker. There is more on the transactions, and if we take a quick look at it here, and what's really good about this is fully open source, so anybody can come in, look at it, look at different parts of it, and reuse that themselves. Now, other explorers that I use a lot within the ecosystem are Cardano Scan and Sea Explorer. We're very lucky within Cardano to have these brilliant teams that are putting these resources out for the community, and don't always get the thanks that I suppose is deserved for the work they put in. So when you look at it here, like other explorers, you have all of the usual details. There was one I seen, I think some of the new ones that are in here are the native tokens. So I hadn't seen this one before. Maybe it was there, but you can come in, you can see all the details on the different native assets, transactions, holders, volume, things like that, things you'd be used to seeing over on Sea Explorer or Cardano Scan. But it's great to see another option out there, and also that it is open source for people to come in and maybe use parts of it for their own systems. Another one from the foundation is a new wallet. Not a wallet for holding your assets, I would say yet anyway. It is an identity wallet. So what they're trying to do is have one place for your digital identity. So when you go to use a dApp or go to use something else, or maybe even outside of crypto, is you can sign a transaction and it will verify who you are to someone else. And you don't have to hand over your ID, which gives all of your information to them. It will only give the information that they actually need to verify who you are, or maybe if there's a trusted third party there, they can take it that you are who you say you are without having to actually see your personal details themselves. So you can see, once again, this is open source. So the hope, I suppose, here is that other wallet providers will be able to take some of what's here and integrate this into their own wallets. It is looking to not just be Cardano, that this could be, you can see here, to help you manage self-sovereign identities across crypto and other blockchain networks. So it's good to see. They are continually developing, bringing out new updates that will help, I suppose, bring new people into Cardano, also expose the Cardano ecosystem to a wider audience. Another one then from the foundation was the Cardano Academy is now live for anybody to go in and get access to. Now, this isn't just Cardano specific education. This is blockchain education on basically how blockchains work, how they can be, how interoperability can work, and a lot of different aspects on blockchain education. Maybe I'll do another video diving a bit deeper into some of the lessons that are there. But even if it's not just Cardano that you want to learn about, I would say definitely check that out to get a better understanding of blockchain in general and this whole crazy rabbit hole that you got into when you started to get into cryptocurrency. Then we take a quick look at IAGON, who had a big update on December 8th, which was their alpha release. This is part of their ecosystem starting to roll out. We're still expecting mainnet to come in the next week or two, so looking forward to seeing what that holds too. But this was all around ledger flow, decentralized storage, or decentralized hosting of websites. We've seen Dave as well from Ada Markets put out where he hosted part of our website over on IAGON. So this is full decentralization for website hosting. Ledger flow, you can see here. What else do we have? Resource providers, API and staking, storage and subscription system. And I'm definitely overdue an update video on IAGON. Kind of waiting until mainnet comes out so I can take it all in and maybe have Navjeet back on the channel to go through it all. But it's another project that's continually looking to build and push forward. So congratulations to the team on phase 1 and looking forward to the next phase, which is mainnet, coming out very, very soon. Then a quick update, or congratulations I suppose, to Pavia, who hit a milestone in the last few days. People who remember the interview I had with Paul, we talked about things that they were looking to hit and targets, and this was one of them where he talked about there was a lot of work going into getting multiple people onto the same server. Not just multiple people, but big numbers of individuals into the same server. And you can see here that they had 5,000 people in the server at the one time here. Now, probably sounds like it's not that big a deal if you don't understand the tech behind it. And I personally don't fully understand the tech. It's only from talking to people who are deeper into it. But this is something that even in traditional gaming is very, very hard to do. So for them to hit these types of numbers at this point, congratulations. Great to see this type of progress. Probably a project I'll catch up with in sometime in the new year to see what's next for them and where they are going. In terms of metaverses, Cornucopias had a big announcement just before I hit record on this, and that is that they're going to start trading live on Gate.io on December 21st. So this is probably one of the, or probably is the biggest centralized exchange right now that allows Cardano native assets to be listed on. You can see sitting at number 8 on CoinMarketCap right now, and this is based on the trading volume for the last 24 hours. So it's great to see COPI really starting to push out there. We talked about it in one of the previous videos that they're starting to push out with a lot more exposure in other ecosystem with Binance Chain and getting listed over on Uniswap, starting to bring more people rather than just Cardano people interested in Cornucopias now. There is starting to really spread out there and get a lot more people interested. And one other piece of news for Cornucopias is they have another NFT sale coming up, and this is their COPI node sale. So this will be a license to be able to run a node to help with the game right now. I think it's about 15, maybe 17 gigabytes to download and can take a while based on your connection. But when people start to run nodes, it starts to decentralize that, and you can start downloading. So when you go to download that game, you can download from maybe up to 100 different nodes. In the video that Josh and Rob done, Rob showed, I think it was 100 nodes where he was downloading a piece of that from each of them and was able to download the full game within a few minutes rather than taking half an hour to an hour to download it. And as this game gets bigger and bigger, it's potentially going to be up to 100 gigs, maybe more by the time they're fully finished. So that's when these types of nodes will become very, very important. I think this is the first of the decentralization of it. I'm hoping to find out a bit more on the nodes and future nodes, what they are going to be. But the node sale is coming up in the next few days. So make sure you check out Cornucopias if you're interested in that. Still didn't get the video finished for Cornucopias, the dedicated one, but I will put a push on that in the next few days too. Just to close it out then, World Mobile, I'll let this play in the background. So this was some videos of the Aerostat going up live. So this happened back in August, but we only got to see the videos of it yesterday. There was a live stream, or not yesterday, when was it? Oh yeah, one day ago. There was a live stream of the team, lots of different members on talking about what it took to get here. We've seen the full workup on the day, the countdown to it going up in the air, and a lot of behind the scenes, as well as a Q&A live with the team after. So massive milestone to get to for the team. Congratulations to Mickey and everybody involved. I'll have to catch up with Mickey fairly soon to see what's next for World Mobile. But once again, I will leave the link to that one down below for anyone who wants to check it out fully. Thanks for watching, guys. If you want the live stream or pre-recorded tomorrow on the Cardano native assets, let me know below. If you're not going to tune in, have a great weekend. Subscribe if you're new. Give the video a like. Talk to you soon.